Okay, it's Will Cain and Roland Martin time, and we've got two topics they're just going to love. Mitt Romney on the poor and Donald Trump on the presidential race. Excuse me, Roland?
Bring it.
All right, Will. Yeah, exactly. Will just shakes his head.
There you
go. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and start with Romney's comment yesterday on CNN that he's, quote, not concerned about the very poor. Everyone's been talking about this morning, including you two. There's probably already a bumper sticker out there somewhere. Soledad O'Brien did challenge Romney when he said that. And, of course, Jon Stewart weighed in a little later. Take a listen.
You just said, I'm not concerned about the very poor because they have a safety net. And I think there are lots of very poor Americans who are struggling who would say, that sounds odd. Can you explain that?
TV news person just heard what candidate said and then stopped him and made him spleen himself. Like a flower blooming in the desert. Quick! Someone dig that up and get it away from CNN before one of their giant holographic monitors falls and crushes it.
Well, you had to finish the sentence, Soledad. I said, I'm not concerned about the very poor that have a safety net, but if it has holes in it, I will repair them.
Right, but it's still a net.
All right, guys. So was his explanation good enough for you? Were his words unfairly taken out of context, blown out of proportion? Roland?
No, his words were not taken out of context. I mean, obviously, he's right. You listen to the whole comment. But what concerns me is when you say, I'm concerned about Americans, and then you act as if the poor and even the rich are not Americans. Also, his math is totally jacked up. He said that the 90 to 95%, 15.3% of Americans are deemed to be in poverty. That's folks who make about $22,000 a year for a family of four. And so, Mitt, you might want to get your calculator out. It's a much larger group who are poor, who are impoverished than that. And remember, that's poverty level. If you got four family of four, you make 30 grand, I think you're still broke.
So let me ask you guys this. Will do poor people even care what Romney thinks? I mean, are they going to go punish him at the polls for this?
Probably not. I mean, I think lower-income voters traditionally skew towards Democrats. But look, you asked Roland, is it going to be taken out of context? The answer is yes, because it'll be played strictly in that shortened clip. I'm not very concerned about poor people. And then it'll be spun. And yes, it's a bad political gaffe because of that. The truth is, substantively, there's not much there because this is a man who I'm sure his life reflects is concerned about poor people. I think the bigger problem is that he's now he's conceded the debate that Obama wants to have, that you can divide Americans into various classes and you should adopt policies that help those various classes, such as the middle class. In other words, he's saying, I want to help the middle class. I want to expand the net. I want to expand services to the middle class. This is a problem for conservatives.
Fact check.
Yeah, Roland, you were shaking your head when I asked.
We got to have a fact check here. He said poor people skew towards Democrats. Of the 10 poorest states, Mississippi, red state. Alabama, red state. Louisiana, red state. South Carolina, red state. So you look at the bottom 10 poorest states in America, 7 to 8 of those states are red states. So, Will, that's not true. There's some poor folks who vote for Democrat.
So take that into account.
I'm sorry,
Will,
vote for Republican.
Could that impact the way these voters? Will it impact how many low-income folks head to the polls? And I mean, looking at it that way, pushing it forward, taking away, was he being insensitive or not? Bottom line, are low-income people going to look at what he said, care about it, and go to the polls, and we'll see a difference?
Yes, probably they will. But response to Roland's fact check, he just told me how many states were red and how they index poor, but that doesn't say anything about how they vote inside the state. So the point is, if low-income people,
Republicans,
if low-income people inside these states are already voting Democrat, it's not going to hurt him that much. You can't make statements like this, Kyra, and expect that it won't hurt. The answer to your question, despite our differences on some facts here, is yes, it will hurt.
I don't differ on the fact. Broke states, most of the bottom 10 states, most of them are red states.
As if they vote monolithic, as if everybody in that state votes the same.
They are guaranteed red states. Do you think a Democrat, does Obama have a chance of winning Mississippi?
Because a state
Alabama,
is called red, doesn't
Louisiana,
mean 100% of the
South
people
Carolina,
in that state vote the same way.
President Obama has no shot of winning those red states.
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We will see how this pans out.
Did you get to your third and fourth question, Kyra?
Well,
Did you get to your third and fourth question?
I have to apologize because I know Roland would have been really excited to talk about Donald Trump, but I guess we're going to have to move on.
Actually not, because he's terrible. So he's politically ridiculous. He's a chump. and is a political fraud. We should not waste any moment discussing Donald Trump and a waste of a time endorsement.
Think you got your answer.
Political fraud? Okay, we'll see what he has to say. Bye, guys. Don't
Later.
forget CNN coverage.